Welcome to MissouriNet.com. I'm Bill Pollack along with Jason West of MSHSAA. I should just keep this on you the entire time, Jason. I just noticed just before I hit record, I was walking past the candy dish, and there was a grape Jolly Rancher, and I thought, oh, I'll take that. That'll be good. So I just finished that, and now as I'm looking at myself, my tongue is blue. It looks like I ate a Smurf. So now I'm gonna have to talk like this now. I'm self-conscious about that. So.
That's why I have a makeup and hair girl.
I need one. I don't even know if that would help me in this case. So, all right. Well, listen.
Keep me away from the chocolate donuts, so I don't have chocolate in between my teeth.
Well, at the Mizzou BYU game, I had people texting me while I was out there on the field, saying, "Hey, I see you on the SEC network. You're on, national television." And I texted them back when I had a chance, and I said, "Oh, I hope that I don't have barbecue all over my face." So that would have been, just my luck. So anyway, all right, yeah. Obviously, with everything that's been going on for the last week and a half at Mizzou, with resignations and protests, I've been tied away. So let's bring in Jason West from MSHSAA to kind of update us as to what's happening with high school sports. And I want to start because we never talk much about the 8-man football. I mean, we touch on it, but it always seems like they kind of get left behind and forgotten about. The finals are set between North Andrew and Stanberry, and these two teams have been the champions for the last 3 years. Stanberry back in 2012, and then North Andrew is going for the three-peat. Those two teams are in the finals. They have a powerhouse, to say the least, in 8-man, don't they?
They have. We've seen this before where we've had the same two teams in the 8-man championships for several years. In fact, when we first went to the Dome, Mound City and St. Joseph Christian played each other for, I believe it was 4 years in a row, just like North Andrew and Stanberry. And they kind of developed a rivalry that way, and that helped propel Mound City to a number of championships. But Stanberry and North Andrew have really been neck and neck, even in the championship game. They've been very exciting. 1 year we had, I want to say it was like 60 or 70 some odd points, maybe over 80 points scored in the first half. And then both teams come out and shut each other out in the second half, and we don't have a point scored. So, and then the next year where we think it's going to be an offensive game again, it's 16-13 thriller. So they've had some great games between and we certainly expect the same thing this year.
Well, I'm looking at these scores, and obviously 8-man. Now, the field size doesn't change, or does it?
Actually, it does, and that's one of the reasons why we have to have the 8-man game as the first game on Friday, because one of the rule changes, or well, not changes, but one of the rule differences for the 8-man game is that their game can be played on an 80-yard field as compared to a 100-yard field, and then it is also slightly narrower than an 11-man field. And so the Dome personnel actually go in and put down lines for the 8-man game during the week, and then once that game is over, we pull up those lines and go to the 11-man format.
Well, and that's not bad. I'm looking at these scores: North Andrew over Worth County and Northeast Nottoway, 40-22 in that semifinal game. Stanberry beat Norborn Hardin Central 34-18. But those quarterfinal games, 88-42, 78-24, 70-18. You can rack up some big points in a hurry in the 8-man. Makes it exciting.
It really can, and especially when you have two quality teams facing off on each other, you get the 56-39 halftime scores, but then you can also get the 16-13 outcomes, and it's very exciting. That's one of the nuances with the 8-man game. Once you break that first line of containment or first line of defense, it's off to the races, and you see some big scores add up rather quickly. Some of these games, even though 78-24 is a large score, even 88-42. At one point, those are pretty close games that 2 or 3 scores in a row takes the wind out of the sails of one team, but really opens up a huge lead that some of them can't quite make up.
We're talking high school sports with Jason West at MSHSAA, and it's brought to you by the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. Don't forget to get your flu shot. That's your best defense against the flu, is to stay in the game and get vaccinated. Jason, what else do we have going on now? We got regular 11-man football. The finals are set for 6-man, and then this is a big weekend for the rest of the classes, correct?
Correct. We have some great semifinal matches, I think, in every one of the classes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Class 4, we have a repeat of last year's championship game with Central Cape Girardeau hosting Webb City. That looks to be a very good game. Even in the, Class 1, we have another repeat of a championship game from last year, I believe, actually, Valley Catholic hosting Marceline. Marceline has not allowed any points in their last 10 games. And wow. So that looks to be a very good matchup. Valley Catholic had a close game last week, and so maybe a chink in the armor, if you will, or maybe they were just kind of toying with people and to make sure that they can still play. But it looks like Saturday is going to be a very exciting day across the board, as this week all but one of the games will be played on Saturday afternoon. Battle is going to host Fort Osage on Friday night, and then all the other games will be played on Saturday afternoon.
I'll put you on the spot. Valley Catholic and Webb City, they've been on quite a roll in terms of championships, correct?
They have. They actually are tied for the most championships of any team, and both won lucky number 13 last year.
That's amazing. Unbelievable runs by those two teams. All right, what else do we have? Any other sports? We're kind of winding down now. I know we're starting to get into the winter sports, but what else have I missed here in the last?
Well, we wrapped up soccer this past weekend with classes 3 and 4, and had not just great weather for those games and some really great crowds. We had some really good soccer games. And we had some perennial powers that made it back to the semifinals, but we also had some newcomers, and probably one of the best games of the weekend, Francis Howell won their first soccer championship by defeating DeSmet, one of the old guard, if you will, 1-0 in just a great high school soccer game. So a very exciting weekend this past weekend at the soccer park. And coming off the heels of the Class 1 and 2 weekend, where we saw some very exciting games there as well, and had some very good crowds at that soccer championship, in addition to this past weekend.
And I was looking at the weather for this weekend. It's supposed to be at least around in this area, and I'm assuming around most of the state. We might not even make it to 40 on Saturday.
You're right, which is pretty good football weather if you're one of the ones lucky enough to be in pads. But the great thing is, looking ahead, we're looking at some terrific weather Friday and Saturday after Thanksgiving. Forecast call for 72 degrees and no wind, no rain, anything like that. So that's what we have to look forward to.
Absolutely, inside the dome. And how have the crowds been for your state championship game so far, across all the sports this fall?
I think we've had some pretty good, pretty good crowds. The attendance at soccer the past 2 weekends was terrific. Not only did Mother Nature help us out with just some phenomenal weather, the 3 and 4, Class 3 and 4, there were 4 St. Louis teams that all won and were in the championship games of their respective classes. So that certainly helped bring out some of the local soccer fans, made their trip to the championships a lot easier. But overall, I would say it's been a very good year, especially since we've had some great weather for these championships that were outdoors.
Jason West from MSHSAA joining us on this hangout, brought to you by Missouri NEA. Was there a teacher, a coach, or a school employee that affected your life in a positive way? They want to hear about this story. Tell them at teacherwordsmatter.org for a chance to win $500. Jason, glad to finally catch up with you now that things have hopefully slowed down on the college level for me, and great to talk high school sports again.
And not a problem. Thank you for letting us do this.
And I'm going to now scrub my tongue and try to get that blue Smurf color off of there.
Just be careful what you use, what kind of cleaner you use.
I have to be careful. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I might change the color of the tongue. Then I use something yellow to be green. Who knows what it'll end up looking like. Jason West from MSHSAA joining us on this hangout. Thanks a lot for watching us. And you can check out all of our stuff at MissouriNet.com.